And back with more found footage reviews, and this one's a strange one because yes, it's on Found TV, but I've seen this before a long time ago. I can't remember the exact date, but it was pre-pandemic when I was in Wales and we were all getting incredibly drunk and all sorts, watching horror movies. And I remember watching this, and I vividly remember when I was watching it this time, I was like, "Hey, is this the one with the like weird clowns?" And it was like obviously clown mannequins and all that, but it was, and I was like, "This isn't a new movie. This is not new. This one's been around for ages." I do remember hating it when I first saw it. Really didn't think it was up to much. So yes, it's one which has aged on me, grown on me, a fair bit, because it is better now than it was back then. I think part of it's having made my own stuff and realised how difficult it is, and how, when you're fronting a movie as the main guy, as this guy is, and you're basically in every section of the movie, it's a really tough thing to do. And I think the main guy in this movie does a really good job with managing to be a relatable human being, because it's really not easy. Being like the straight man to weird shit is really difficult, really fucking difficult, and this guy does a really good job. I think part of what works is he makes it so he's got that TV vibe of like, he's not too invasive, I guess you can say. It's a performance where it's very much mannered, matter of fact, and not trying to go put history on it until the end, where it does go in history on it. That's understandable based on what happens. So my main critique of the movie is that nothing really happens for a long time, then lots happens, I guess. And that's, it is a critique. I get why they've done it, because obviously you want to build up suspense, and then the last part you won't have it be batshit insane. The problem with this movie is the batshit insane stuff is actually really good, and really tense and genuinely scary, and the rest of the movie is not particularly scary or funny. Now, it's not so it's bad. It sets the scene, and I'm not someone who's like against the whole concept of setting the scene. I know whenever I watch, I always bring wrestling up. I never do. I should. Anyway, whenever I watch New Japan matches, like wrestling, and they spend ages building up, and then they hit the end part, and it's really great. The thing is, this movie does that, but it hits the end part too late. I would have liked another 10 or so minutes, like have a proper last 20 minutes of that craziness, because it's by far the best part of the movie. I love critiques where I say this movie's trying to be a bit more subtle than your average found footage movie, which is good in some ways, and the acting's very naturalistic. I think all the guy who fronts it and the couple, I think they're all genuinely good, especially during scenes which are very long. Very long and very improvised, and they go on for a while, and they all keep their composure, and they deliver genuinely decent performances, particularly the wife. She's really fucking good. Like, there's actual tears at certain points, and then when you get to the ending and find out, like, oh, there shouldn't be tears, it's like, that's a performance within performance. That's very impressive. Another issue I have here is, and this is something true of my own stuff as well, it would be like the best parts of this movie are really the last parts, where more people are in it and there's more sense of peril. But I get why there wasn't more people in the rest of the movie. It just maybe it would have been a bit more interesting. I think visuals are pretty good. There's some creative use of the camera phone, and particularly, especially the last part where, it's getting really intense. I mean, obviously you can say, why hasn't he dropped the camera? And it's valid criticism. I mean, it is in most found footage movies, to be honest, especially in this case, because once he's realised what's going on, he's not recording paranormal stuff anymore, so why doesn't he just drop it? But then the movie won't happen if he dropped it, so, you need to have it happen. I did find, for me, the scariest part of the movie was the fucking chainsaw bit. Because, and think, when you're watching big budget movies, there's horror movies, big budget by horror standards, the sense of peril's not necessarily there, so they feel a bit more clean, but some random dude swinging a chainsaw, that's terrifying. I mean, like, obviously people can know how to use chainsaw in a general sense, but like, in terms of a movie, you're not trying to use it to actually cut things. You just want it to appear that way, which requires a completely different set of, use of it. So that's very trusting, trust someone with that. Or maybe it's just me. But that particular last part, when Chainsaw came out, it's all like, oh shit, we're getting real now. And it's very much like the finale of Finally Home, where it has a similar feel to it, particularly in the last act. I think this movie was a good length. I think maybe they could have had more of the final part. That would be interesting to me to see where it's going from final scene would be interesting because they make the implication. The ending, I mean, the specifics of the ending are a bit muddled because I feel like it should have ended on the probably been better ending on chainsaw scene. Going on for longer feels a bit like, I don't know, it's like you could have gone there in future movies. I mean, obviously there are future movies and I'll be trying to track those down, but overall I did enjoy it. I thought lead performance was very good. I thought performances in general were very good and thought the last sort of 10 minutes were great. Rest of it was reasonably good. So yeah, I'd say I'd go 3 out of 5, which is, I think, a good rating. This isn't great, but that last part is generally really good. So if you can, go on Found TV and check it out. It's a good movie.